Here now to react, former Assistant Treasury Secretary and host of the Monica Crowley podcast, Monica Crowley herself. So, Monica, again, I want you to respond to KJP, but this does seem like election interference where Democrats are using Zelenskyy to move voters, especially in Pennsylvania. But KJP says nothing to see here.
Well, her phrase business as usual is particularly outrageous and appalling that she would use that kind of language. Zelenskyy coming to the United States this close to a presidential election, going into a swing state when his country is at war, and he is seeking vast amounts of money to continue this war against Russia, to go into a swing state and effectively then be campaigning for one candidate over another. So he's effectively campaigning for Kamala Harris while trash talking Donald Trump and then going on elsewhere in the country. And also to have the Democrat governor of the state of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, signing artillery shells. Whatever happened to the Democrat Party being the party of anti-war, the party of peace-seeking? None of that matters anymore, right? This is the epitome of foreign election interference. And can you imagine if Zelenskyy or any other leader came into the United States, into a swing state, and was campaigning for Donald Trump? This administration would be going absolutely ballistic. And on top of everything else, you guys, every taxpayer watching this show tonight should be really outraged because it was your tax dollars that flew Zelenskyy in on a U.S. military jet and then afforded him protection while he was here in the United States.
He called Senator J.D. Vance too radical. President Trump's meeting with him tomorrow, Zelenskyy. So I wonder if he has the stones to say that to his face. By the way, KJP was using the Utah trip. That was the Utah trip that Zelenskyy took, was to attend the National Governors Association summer meeting in Utah. So it wasn't one governor, lady. On the economy, Kamala Harris has fallen in love with two words.
I call my vision the opportunity economy.
What I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy.
I intend to create an opportunity economy.
It's so comforting to know we're not the only ones unsure about what her opportunity economy actually means, though we never expected to be in the company of Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She told Politico in part, quote, "I don't know if Kamala Harris put real meaning to the opportunity economy, but it sounds good because that's the point. Everybody else is going to give it meaning with spending and ideas, probably people like Alex Soros, who was chumming up with Walls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're completely unafraid of showing the American people exactly where their bread is buttered. So you had Tim Walz in the 85th floor grand apartment of Alex Soros basically saying that if we're elected, the Soros machine is going to run us. Look, it is very clear what is going on here in this election cycle. The Democrats are very good at kind of creating holograms, right? Barack Obama, when he first ran, was a hologram. He's like a ghost. So you can project onto these people exactly what you think or want them to be. They're trying the same operation with Kamala Harris. So they're deliberately keeping her vague, her policy positions vague. Maxine Waters is saying, oh, this kind of ambiguity is really great. Yeah, because it works for them, because it allows people to kind of project onto them what they think Kamala Harris's policies will be. The problem here is that she's been in the second highest office in the land for almost 4 years. She's talking about an opportunity economy. We've seen zero opportunity over the last 4 years for the vast majority of Americans. Their economy has crushed the American people.
They want the media to fill in the blanks for them. She can't do it herself, so have the media step in and go, we'll fill in the blanks for you, Kamala. We got your back. Let's go to this, though, because Harris's interview last night was more of the same lie after lie, especially when it came to Trump's manufacturing record.
Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000.
Wrong! That statement was so off base that even CNN and the Washington Post hit it with a fact check. Under Trump, U.S. manufacturing jobs actually increased by about 400,000 before COVID hit. Monica, I think it's fascinating. I don't have much credibility in the media, but finally, it was so egregious that CNN had to come out and fact check her.
And the Washington Post,
yes,
too. Look, I was in the Trump administration during the last 2 years. I was at the Treasury Department. We were spearheading the Trump economy, which was a booming economy until COVID hit. And then, of course, we had an unprecedented shutdown. But when we began to open up in mid-2020, all of those pro-growth economic policies of Donald Trump's kicked back in. And what we saw was that when Trump handed off the economy to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in January of 2021, we had 6.5% economic growth, so a robust rebound. We had an influx of people rebounding, coming back into the labor market, and we had inflation at 1.4%. So they took that Goldilocks economy and destroyed it over the last 4 years.
Power grab. That's why they did it. That's why they have run up the debt by, it's about $8 trillion, spent an additional $1 trillion out of the Treasury Department for themselves and crushed the American people in every turn. And they keep bragging, Monica, about manufacturing, and it chaps my ass because they have spent $3.5 trillion in borrowed money in the last 2 years and created a manufacturing recession.
That's right.
That's what the government does. It is ineffective and it destroys opportunity because it siphons money away. You borrow something to do something moronic and you take money away from smart endeavors. And that's what they've done. And they've destroyed 130,000 manufacturing jobs through regulation in the last year and a half.
You're exactly right. And remember, Donald Trump has been talking about the forgotten men and women and American manufacturing and onshoring jobs and industries back to the U.S. for decades, certainly over the last 9 years since he announced for president. What he did as president with a pro-growth economic agenda of tax cuts, regulatory relief, unleashing our great energy sector, and striking fairer trade deals with primary trading partners like China, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, and Canada, among others, was all about reshoring American jobs, reshoring American industries, and protecting the American worker. He delivered for the forgotten men and women for 4 years. They have not forgotten about it, and they're going to deliver him a victory come November.
Monica Crowley, thanks for being with us.
A pleasure, guys. Thank you.